Hey guys, just finished up a 3 mile run in this nice 23-degree weather and figured I am gonna do a quick recovery session. Probably just like 10 minutes of foam rolling, 10 minutes of stretching. The 10 minutes of stretching will probably be a little bit of yoga, but I know that some of you are like full beginners to the world of running, triathlon, fitness. So I figured I would show you how I run through a circuit of uh, foam rolling, and then maybe even what my stretching routine looks like. So let's get started. So I usually like to start from the bottom of the chain and then work my way up. Uh, Today is actually the first run that I've done since I got sick. So here we go. I always start around the ankle, and what I'll do is I'll start with this leg on the ground just to like take some of the pressure off, and I'll just roll up and down. And as I roll up and down, I am finding tender spots on my calf and rotating my leg slightly so that I can hit the different sections of my calf. Now, when you get to a point where maybe you've done this for a while and there's no real tender spots from the amount of pressure that you're going to get from having your leg on the ground, what I'll then do is I'll cross over my leg and then roll like this. That's a bit more of an intense feeling on your calf, but as you keep it up, this will no longer hurt, or you'll have less tender spots, and that's really the goal of this foam rolling. Now, when you do find a tender spot, so let's say I know one of my typical tender spots is like right here on my calf. Holding this weight, I will allow my body to press down on that until it relaxes. And when it relaxes, you'll know, or when you've had enough, you'll know. Another thing you can do when you hit a tender spot is flex your foot, or flex your toe towards your head. And this motion, some call it flossing, whatever you want to call it, it definitely helps activate I glide across the foam roller. Okay, so there's that. Just for the sake of time, I will go straight to my hamstring and then my quad so that you don't have to watch me do both legs. So we're just going to do everything on the right leg, or rather the left leg, so that you can actually get better. So now the hamstring, always be careful not to start in your knee joint. It's just one bad practice, and two, you're opening yourself up for potential injuries and pain. So stay away from just like pretty much anything at the inner joint of the knee. You're probably much better off. Most people just end up hurting themselves. So I'll start fairly close to the knee, but pretty much where the meat of my hamstring is like really getting started. As you can see, it looks pretty close, but it's like right in line with the top of the patella. So now, leg straight, and I'll just do literally the same thing that I did with my calf, except in my hamstring. And surprisingly, for kind of my past weeks have been going, like this really isn't too bad. I'm feeling pretty good. This is a nice spot here. So here's an example that I was talking about before. As I rolled into this spot of my hamstring, and you could see it's kind of touching like the IT band area, I felt this dull achiness, slight pain. So I'm just going to sit on that, let my body relax into it, and then keep rolling. You ready? Okay. And that's the hamstring. Now, the quad, this one's a bit trickier, and people tend to have a hard time doing their quads. They also tend to be the most painful. So, and when I say pain, I mean like, the pain that, good kind of pain, not pain that you shouldn't be feeling. So, again, you can either have a leg to support you, or, fully support yourself with your arms so that most of your weight is going into your leg. What you're going to do is, again, slowly roll up and down the quad. As I mentioned before, I tend to have significantly more tight areas in my quads. So I'll do this even slower than like most of the other areas, just because I know that I'm in for quite the time when I'm full rolling my quads. Again, rotating to hit different parts of the quad. Here's a spot that's clearly tight. Just gonna sit on it until my body relaxes a little bit. But continue the roll. And that's pretty much it. I will tend to do that for, as pretty much as much as I want. I've never heard of anybody over rolling or over foam rolling. So even after this video, I'm gonna do a pretty good job hitting my other side. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the foam rolling. Now, aside from that, there's a few key stretches that are very useful when you're doing a lot of like running, swimming, biking. Your hamstrings will tend to get really tight, your hips will get really tight, and your shoulders and your back too, really everything. So I don't know if anyone here knows what a sun salutation is in yoga, but essentially you will start standing, but work your way into a downward facing dog, where you'll see it in prayer. Perfect. So from the downward facing dog, there's several options that you can do, but I'd like to stay here for quite a while and then take turns in like a deep lunge like this. So I'll hang out here for like 20 seconds. When 20 seconds is over, I'll come up, do all these things, and you do an upward facing dog. Come back down, downward facing dog, and then do the other leg in the lunge stretch. Again, 20 seconds. And I'm speeding through this for you, so yeah, feel free to take your time in each position. Then, after this, after you hit the second lunge position, you will stand up and do a deep hamstring stretch where you fold over forward. Do a full stand-up thing, which now I'm out of frame. And then repeat as many times as you need to. Now, of course, there's other yoga poses that are extremely useful, like the pigeon pose, like or the pigeon, whatever else, doesn't matter. There's a few yoga poses that are very useful. The warrior poses, all of those types of things, which I would recommend. So even I, with however many training sessions I might be hitting in a single week, I still recognize the benefit of taking time to like maybe make one session a week of like a full yoga session. Now the goal of that session is not to add another workout to your week. Quite the contrary. It's a very good time to unwind, relax, and loosen and stretch the areas in a dedicated and like systemic way, in a way that you probably won't have time to do during your normal week. So I'll try to fit these days in on a, say, off day, like a Friday, or even on a Sunday after a long run day, where I just like needs like a good amount of time to decompress, relax, and get over the session, so to speak, or get over the week that I just had. But that was my recovery session. Hope you found it useful. Hope you find it useful. I am going to try to make this a very regular part of this next training cycle, only because the benefits are so high. Like the pain reduction and injury reduction that you'd normally accumulate from high training volume is substantially reduced when you do things like this frequently, and consistently. So I think I used all my words for the day. Again, hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, like, follow, subscribe, whatever. And we'll catch you next time.